All right, so for this week, we're talking about faculty. And I mean, obviously, it was intentional to go from students to faculty, but um, immediately you go from a student body at community colleges that is incredibly diverse and chock full of minority students and from lower socioeconomic statuses and more or less underprepared to a faculty of 80% white uh, white faculty, 50-50 male female. The vast majority has their master's degree. Um, the kind of average age where for community colleges you ran the gamut of 18 to senior citizen age. Um, while the faculty is isn't that, it's around 50 years old. So you just don't have they're just not even close to kind of similar to try to get an accurate representation of the student body with your faculty. The primary responsibility for the faculty is teaching. Very little research, very little engagement with students outside of class, maybe some office hour stuff, but you're not looking at anything intense. More or less uh, 15 hours or so a week is kind of the norm for how much they're teaching. 2/3 of the faculty are part-time, so you're not dealing with a lot of full-time staff, which is an issue. They are very satisfied though. They tend to be, as one point mentioning how they're the most satisfied faculty in higher education. This could be for a lot of reasons, but I feel like it's probably there's less time demand. They're probably going in with lower expectations. Um, both from the faculty standpoint and the community college. Kind of, it's almost this feeling of they're kind of hired and then kind of put away. So advantages and disadvantages. So starting with advantages, what's great about adjunct faculty is that you can adapt to the change in the student body really quickly. This goes for courses that kind of need to be offered all of a sudden to needing to add a section. You need to add a section of some developmental class, which oftentimes is being taught by these adjunct professors. Your developmental classes, but you need to add a section. Go find an adjunct part-time person and throw them in there. So it's really great for that. You can also have very specialized classes because you can hire someone with a very specific skill set and let them kind of go to town. Um, let's see. I mean, obviously, one of the biggest advantages is that it's cheaper. Um, their salary is lower in dollar amount, but it's also lower in what they need. They don't need this, some big office in a department. Sometimes their offices are not even anywhere near their where they're teaching. So they don't need as much both money or resources. And so that's something that that's definitely an advantage. Some of the disadvantages across the board, they do feel less valued, and if you have a group of faculty that feel undervalued, it's going to trickle down to your students, and so it'd be hard to think that it doesn't. That being a disadvantage, um, you with research showing that completion rates, high completion rates are typically found at places that have more, if not all, full-time faculty. Continuing to add adjunct part-time faculty is is kind of going against the grain, and so you run a risk there for sure. Especially if you start to overuse adjunct, where it's just, hey, this is so easy to do, let's just go and grab someone, we can tuck them away, and not really not really have to deal with them all that much because they're just coming in, teaching a couple classes, and that's it. Um, you know, Faculty, regular full-time faculty um, at community colleges we talked about are just teaching, not a ton of engagement. Well, this part-time faculty is going to be even less engaged. Even less is being asked of them, and if they're less engaged, again, it's trickling down to the students. So Those are kind of the advantages and disadvantages. To me, the biggest thing is that it's just so uh, just unrepresentative of the student body, and so that's something that I feel like it needs to try to change. But maybe in another video we'll talk about how. All right.